Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. And today we have the tank review on the brand new Czech Tier 8 light tank, the VZ68 Squirrel. Now that is the new season pass tank for the new season, which was released yesterday. Now obviously the new season had a big change with the crew and equipment setups, and I will share the crew and equipment setup I'm choosing to use in this tank shortly. But before we do that, I'm just going to quickly go over this tank and a quick description of what this tank is, and then we'll demonstrate it in the two replays I have to show today. One is with me, and one's actually a guest replay provided to us by our good friend Kellen, because he goes on to have a massive game in the tank, and I thought it was well worth a share. So what is this tank? Well, it's a Czech light tank which has the auto cannon basically as its main gun. So the auto cannon, what that is, essentially it's an autoloader where it basically has a 100-round clip, which has basically like a machine gun. So each round does a small amount of damage, and then you shoot it incredibly quickly. So the standard rounds have 182 pen, and then they do 8 damage per shot. So that's essentially, if you penned every single shot, that's 800 damage, but you're probably not going to pen every single shot. The premium rounds actually have an increased pen value of 236, and it's actually APCR rounds. Sorry, the standard rounds is AP. But the premium rounds, although it has increased penetration, it also has increased shell velocity, but it has less alpha. So you only do 6 damage per shot. So essentially, if you pen your whole clip, it's 600 damage, roughly. Your HE rounds have 50 penetration with 16 rounds per shot. So if you're firing at those like artillery, the fun police, or the light armour, you can do a lot of damage in that situation. The standard rounds has a shell velocity of 750, premium 950, and your HE 720. As far as concealment goes for this tank, I've got the concealment in the build I'm running down to 276. It's fairly mobile with a top speed of 63 kilometers an hour with the build I'm running, so I do run the turbocharge for that increased mobility and engine power. Gun depression only has 6 of, and accuracy in the build I've got it down to about 0.38. That's pretty much the basics of tank. Obviously, it is a light tank and it has no armour whatsoever. View range in my build, I've got it to 464. So you're not really going to bounce shots on this tank unless you get those awkward ricocheted angles, which sometimes happens, but obviously you're not going to rely on that. Hit points 1,100. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get into the replays where we're showing my crew and equipment setup I'm choosing to run. Now, obviously, this has only just come out, so I may choose to mix it up. I'm just trying a few things out at the moment, but this is what I decided to run for the time being. So let's just get into replays. I'll talk more about the tank, and we can see about it as the game progresses. Okay, so here we are for the first replay then on Pale River, where we are bottom tier. This is tier 10 matchmaking. And if you want to see the crew and equipment setup I'm running in a tank at the moment, you can see that at the bottom of the screen as I speak. But for the first replay, I'm going to initially, as I got Pale River, I'm going to try and get to a position to try and spot and pick up a little bit of assistance damage, because this tank, it's kind of situational when you can use your gun, because you've got like a machine gun. Basically, you can't just poke and quickly get those little snapshots in that you can in other light tanks. You've got to be able to expose yourself for a while you're shooting. But here I'm not getting detected, and we spot a Turan, so yeah, obviously we're going to try and dump our clip into that tank because we want to get rid of it out of the game, and thankfully he does get taken out, which is very helpful for us, and we pick up a bit of assistance. It's actually not that quick at reversing, I forgot to mention that, so you do have to be careful. Obviously if I get spotted here, it could be awkward if I need to get out of cover, and there is a few tanks in the middle as well, so I have to be careful if I get detected. But it will, shots will probably come my way. I must admit, this tank is probably not for me. I haven't enjoyed playing it that much, just because I do find it situational. You can have those games where you have a really nice game, you're like, oh yeah, this was quite fun. But otherwise, I just prefer to be in a light tank with a single shot gun, if I'm honest. But that's just me. I find it's just not my play style. But we do get detected, and now we need to get back into cover so we don't get shot by the enemy team. Now, thankfully, there's no enemy artillery in this game, so we don't have to concern ourselves with that, which is good. Enemy light tank here gets spotted. You know, there is going to be a lot of these squirrels running about just because it's a season pass tank. Obviously, you know, it's a ultimate season pass tank, so you can purchase this tank for about 6,000 gold. So, you know, is it worth 6,000 gold? Well, yeah, I would say so, because you get, you know, the season pass with it as well, skip a few stages. But yeah, overall, I say it's kind of an average light tank. It isn't overpowered, which I guess it's nice, because I got, when you hear those sort of auto cannons and you think like the Vigilante and things like that, it's not like the Vigilante, you know, definitely not what that was when this first came out. So you see I've now reversed rounds, because if I get spotted I can try and get out to cover early, but I've also realised I think I can actually push up aggressively here and try and get into position and try and, you know, spot more of these targets for our team. Because we are up on tanks here and we are up on hit points as well. We do spot an enemy Gorilla 15 here. I really don't want to eat the shot because we only have 1,100 hit points, and that's going to take the majority of my hit points away. So I need to just wait to see my team is going to hit this target, because you can see he is hard aiming me, this Gorilla 15, and he's probably going to shoot me with my poke. But now our light tank's actually going in and he eats the shot for us, thankfully, and we do at least take that tank out. Unfortunately, our friendly light tank there gets set on fire, but we pick up 1 kill and put ourselves onto 1,200 damage with 300 assistance. Going to push forward now and try and spot and see if we can pick up any more assistance, but a lot of these targets are kind of, you know, our friendly team are quite close together, so I don't know how much assistance I'm going to pick up. We've spotted an enemy at TD there. We opt to try and get our machine gun away, and you see it does take a little while to chip away at your damage. If you get an opportunity ever to use your HE, it's like really lightly armoured, you know you can pen with a 50 penetration, then you do pick up damage quickly, but there's limited targets that you're going to be able to achieve that with. So only 5 tanks remaining. We've only done 1,400 damage, so we've not had like a massive game. Like I say, this is more of an average replay I shared. Tusk comes around. Thankfully, he shoots and misses. Otherwise, that would have been painful for us. We go for the track to try and track him in place. And we need our friendly tanks to come in and help us there. We do pick up 2,000 damage and 500 assistance. But this game is going to be over pretty quickly. So once our friendly I7's here to eat the shot off of this Tusk, we're going to go in and try and pick up a bit, you know, some more damage here. We should be able to kill this tank, pick up our first kill, and we're behind this enemy VZ here, so we can dump the remaining of our clip, putting us under 2,700 damage. And that brings us into the replay number 1. Like I say, I haven't had a lot of time to play because obviously it's just come out and I wanted to get this replay quickly. But I have a replay to share for you now from Kedden, and this is a massive game and it's well worth the watch. So let's move on to the second replay. Okay, so here we are then for replay number 2, provided to us by Kellen, and it is on Sand River. There's no enemy artillery and it is top tier matchmaking. So this tank is pretty decent when it is a top tier matchmaking. You do have low penetration, and that means there's a lot more targets that you can pen comfortably. So initially he's going to go and try and play the mid ridge at the start, get underneath his dunes and make it awkward for any enemy tanks are going to play there, because essentially he can keep those spotted and detected, and try and work out if any enemy tanks cross at the top to the sort of A7 spot, because if they do, he might be able to dump his clip in. So you can see here initially he's just sort of waiting, just trying to, you know, caress the dunes, to sort of proxy spot anything which might be in there. And he's seen a poor little tier 6, and he's going to move in aggressively and decisively to try and get that clip in and put that target onto a one shot. He does get his clip in, and now he just needs to try and move out of dodge so he can try and stay safe. But as you can see, the enemy medium tank is running, and he's got off to a flying start to the game, picking up that 620 damage and a very successful first clip there. So now whilst he's on his reload, you've got about a roughly sort of 20 second, like a 19.5 sort of reload on your clip, and he's sort of just sort of getting safe while he reloads and see if anything's going to poke that ridge behind him, and working out really where the enemy team are playing, because it looks like a lot of the enemy team have sort of pushed the riverbed, which is allowing him to get shots, and he's going to peek into his enemy light tank there, getting a second clip in, picking up just over 400 damage into that enemy light tank, and now again on reload, and he's just sort of trying to get a bit of more information so he can decide where he's going to dump his next clip. And he's probably eyeing up this heavy here, because that heavy is pretty isolated, and he's hoping if he goes in, his friendly team might come in and support here. So he's going for the drive wheel, trying to keep him tracked in place if he can. Gets a full big clip in there. He does eat one shot in return, but that's pretty good going, only eating the one shot, allowing to get a whole clip in, putting himself onto 1,800 damage there. So a very nice clip. And he's not going to, he's not going to worry about the heavy, because he's going to get taken out by his friendly Tiger too. But he's seen a loathsome, or appears to be a loathsome Jackson, another tier 6 tank destroyer, and he should be able to potentially kill this tank in one clip, because he's only on about 500 hit points. Enemy light tank gets spotted above, but that light tank is running, so he takes his opportunity to move in and kill this Jackson here to confirm his first kill of the game, and put himself onto 2,000 damage now with 9 enemy tanks remaining and 53% hit points left. He knows his light tank is very low health, and he should be able to clip him out fairly easily, so he's going to move in and try and chase him down while he's on reload. But he's got to be careful, because if he gets spotted, there could be targets camping in their base. Quite likely is, it usually is, so he might need to sort of try and avoid damage from there. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to finish off that light tank. Obviously, firing for distance in this tank, that's why it can be a bit situational, is a little bit awkward, just because of the nature of the mechanic of the gun. So it is better when you are a little bit close and you can sort of ambush enemy targets. That's why I think the tank really is situational, and I tend to prefer playing tanks with the single shot guns with my light tank. So he's going to dump his clip into the IS-3. He's angered the IS-3. The IS-3 wants to come after him, but he should be able to escape before that IS-3 does. And he knows he's got cover from his friendly medium tank here. So what he's going to do while he's on reload, he's not going to sort of wait about. He's just going to move and try and get into a different position so he can flank that enemy IS-3 and hopefully get his kill in by coming from a different direction. Once the gun is turned and not facing at him, because there's only 6 enemy tanks remaining, 5 now because the enemy light tank gets taken out. Another poor tier 6 medium tank who is not aware that he's snuck up behind him. He puts a whole big clip in there, which puts him onto 3,600 damage now, and now he just needs to dodge, weave and try and lose that spot. Now he is running the crew equipment perk, which I also run, the one which reduces your spotting time by 3 seconds when you are detected. I think that perk is going to be pretty mandatory on light tanks and probably most medium tanks, so it's certainly one to pick up. It's kind of a bit overpowered, that perk, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, because of that, it's just so powerful to get delit quickly. So this game is coming pretty much to an end. He can eat a shot of his T-34 if he needs to. He does eat one. He's going to just dump his whole clip in return though, putting him onto 4,200 damage. The T-34 should get shut down by his friendly teammates. He's kind of trapped in the open. He's got a medium tank behind. The Persian does take him out, and now he's just hoping to try and pick up that one last clip. He's almost off reload. Again, he can eat a shot off of this medium tank if need be. He doesn't actually need to. Dumps that clips in, puts him onto just shy of 5,000 damage with 2 kills and 1 enemy tank remaining. He's making a beeline for his medium tank, but it's whether he will get there in time before he gets taken out. Tries to go over the ridge, unfortunately just loses the momentum there to get over, and that medium tank gets taken out. But nonetheless, a great tank. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be getting video and content in all the new buff tanks and the season pass tanks in the upcoming weeks. Unfortunately, I've had to go away for work now. That's why I rushed to get this video out, so I'm going to be delayed by a couple of days. But as soon as I'm back, I'll be getting those replays out for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your amazing support. And as always, happy tanking.
Hadouken!